In this video, I'm going to show you how you can grow potatoes the wrong way and still get it right. I think there are many different right ways that you can garden. And in this case, I want to show you how I like to grow potatoes in fabric pots. First off, maybe you're on the camp that fabric pots take too much water. Well, they may take more frequent watering, but I think that is an advantage in my Central Texas garden. When I plant potatoes, I want them to be able to breathe, and I want the water to be able to drain efficiently. In addition to that, when it's time to harvest my potatoes, usually in the month of May from an early February planting, then they may be incurring heavy rains. Hot temperatures, hot and wet, can lead to rot. You don't want to rot this crop. This is a gem. Now, another reason that I like to grow them in fabric pots is because I can save space in my other raised beds for the crops that I'm going to grow and plant out from April to June. So it's part of balancing the amount of space that you have. If you have a patio or a container, you can grow a lot in containers like this. I'm Scott from New Garden Road, always out here to inform, inspire, and elevate you. Encouraging biodiversity and restoring habitat is my mission, one garden at a time. The natural pruning that is incurred from the crops by the air is good because it keeps them from getting root bound, and then the consistent evaporation of moisture will be balanced with our ambient temperatures in order to keep them from rotting. Now, also in my household, I'm the only one who eats these potatoes. I just need to grow a little bit. I've actually got about 6 bags like this that I'm growing, a few different varieties. This happens to be the red Adirondack, which is great. And I want to tell you that I had this grow bag sitting on a few bricks. I wanted to ensure that it didn't have direct soil contact. This again gave it some ability to breathe. So I'm going to take off my mulch here. I got a thick layer of pine straw. I already see a potato. Got to have mulch. That's going to protect the potatoes from the sun. Will also help a little bit of moisture be retained into the soil. You want it to be balanced, so that's why that's important. Also protects the microbes. All right, I've got a wheelbarrow here with a big tray that's got some openings. I'm going to kind of use that as a sifter, and I'm essentially just going to dump it in there. This is a 10-gallon grow bag, if you're curious. And initially, I like to use the Happy Frog potting soil, something high-end like that. And then I will reuse it in subsequent seasons and amend it with something like compost or fresh potting soil. So you can get a lot out of it, spend a little bit more up front, make a good investment. Oh, there's a gecko. Gonna have to jump. Okay, that didn't go as fast as I was hoping for, but I'm gonna stop here because I've got all these potatoes. I think I did 3 potatoes in here initially, whoops. And I planted them late. You can garden in a lot of different ways and still come out and be successful. Just wanna encourage you to experiment, work with what you have from where you are, and understand that you will learn something each season. Even if you make a mistake, even if you fail, then that gives you some feedback, some data, and it can be an investment. But growing your own clean, organic food that fosters biological diversity, restores habitat for the helpful critters in our native spaces is worth it. It's the right choice, and it's the way to raise your kids. Your community will benefit from it. See, I got a pretty good sized one there. Most of them are kind of this small to medium size. This is perfect for me. I'm not cleaning these up initially because I do want them to cure a bit. They've been in the soil, fairly dry for a couple weeks, honestly, well past the time when I should have harvested them, but there's a little residual moisture on them. I want that to dry. The skins will dry up and basically get a little tougher, because when potatoes are harvested fresh, you can actually move the skin with your finger, and that would cause them to maybe rot a little bit faster, get some mold growth on them. So you let them cure for a few days like this. You can also save some of these potatoes and grow them for a fall harvest. In a hot climate like Austin, Texas, that's tricky to do. A lot of times I will take a few, put them back in the grow bag, which I grew them in, and let them sprout on their own. They'll usually do that in the month of August. I'll put them in a shady spot, and at that point I will move them and start to care for them a little bit more. Again, gotta really hold off on the water during the hottest time, but that's how you can grow a fall harvest of potatoes. I got a video on that. You can check it out. I'll drop a link in the description. All right, this is my entire harvest of potatoes from fabric pots. I used the Smart Pot 10-gallon size. Look at this beautiful heart-shaped red Adirondack. What do? You don't find that in the grocery store. This is the blue Adirondack. Love this one. And this is the Austrian fingerling. These fingerling potatoes are delicious. So this one's kind of got that pink flesh. This has got a yellow to white flesh. And this has got a blue flesh. Now these are all really delicious. They're great baked, fried. You could mash them, use them however you like. They're delicious, unique potatoes. And I will definitely be taking a few of these and setting them aside to plant in the fall. That's a really good way to keep your potatoes going. You can do that for several generations. In the meantime, I want to keep them in a cool, dark place in maybe a paper bag and use them up, in the next few weeks. That's going to be no problem. Love growing these potatoes just as much as I love eating them and cooking with them. They're a really nourishing food that can fill you up. It's easy to grow in a small space. If you've got a balcony or a patio and you want to grow some food like this, give it a shot. I want to tell you a little bit about my favorite way to cook up these spuds. Once upon a time, I got this cookbook by Jacques Pepin, Fast Food My Way. If you're familiar, there's a PBS series that goes along with that. I just loved it. I was into it. One of my favorite recipes in that book is how to do some potatoes. And it really probably takes around 20 or 30 minutes with prep and finished cooking. But you chop them up into about 1-inch cubes. And then you're going to heat a pan to medium-high heat. And you throw in your cubed, rinsed potatoes, rinsed and drained, into that pan. You toss them in a couple of tablespoons of oil and you cover them. And then every couple minutes you check on them and you keep turning them and they'll start to get brown. And after about 10 minutes, when you think they're mostly done and they're kind of, got brownness on several sides, then you turn that heat down to low and you continue to cook them on low for another 10 minutes or so. But you keep checking them. They'll be done pretty quickly depending on what size. But then when they're done, you're gonna season them with a little bit of salt and pepper. I love the Celtic sea salt, honestly. I think that's got a lot of good stuff. Pink sea salt will be good too. But then some fresh herbs from the garden. How about some fresh sage or rosemary or even thyme? And you can experiment with your favorite. Parsley might be another good one. It just depends on what you've got growing. So that's an idea for you on how to cook some potatoes real quick. They're super savory, delicious. They'll fill you up and you can have them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or whenever. That's the way I like to grow my potatoes and cook them. Now check out more awesome gardening videos on my channel. Make sure you like this video and follow New Garden Road for weekly content. You can grow your own food. Keep it organic.